Hi guys, I'm Maria and I'm going to be this week's spokesperson for my group. So my group and I decided to do a little bit of introduction about ourselves, just to get a feel of where we're at in our college career and where this advice is coming from basically. So my group consists of Adrian Llanos Mata. He is a freshman doing prerequisites to hopefully transfer to CSUMB by 2023 into the registered nursing program. We have Crystal Garcia, who is a freshman studying communications and hopefully transferring by 2022. We have Nick Savage, who is a freshman trying to resume college after taking 2 years off, and he's trying to accomplish on getting his GED. And we have myself. I am a fourth year student, first year at Cabrillo, and I did take a year off to try to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I did land on the radiology program offered here at Cabrillo. This is my last semester of prerequisites, but unfortunately I'm not able to apply to the program because the pandemic, they are not accepting any applications. So I will try to figure out what I want to do with my life again. So the way we did this is we divided each of the advice sections, and each one of us focused on one specific one. So Adrian will be giving us advice on living situation. So his advice of living on your own is if you're living by yourself and attending college full time, you will have to learn how to manage your time. He believes that keeping a planner with you is a great way to stay ahead of everything and achieving your goals. It is not easy to be on your own, but it is doable. You will have to learn how to budget, track your expenses, spend less money, and most importantly, do not fall into temptations. His advice of living with family is that if you're living with family at home, with families going to school is actually very helpful. First of all, you will have the support of them when you would need help doing homework. You will save tons of money compared to renting a studio or a dorm. You can put your full attention into schoolwork because you wouldn't have to get a job. So advice overall for living situation is whether you decide to move out or stay at home, both will be a great experience. If he had to give us a tip or a nod in the right direction, though, he would tell you to stay at home because it would be a wise choice. He would want you to keep this in mind. Approximately half of the students attending college lived at home to cut costs. On campus, housing adds thousands of dollars each year to an already high cost of completing post-secondary education, making it attractive for many students to avoid those costs by staying with their families for a few more years. Of course, some people don't have that option because they do go to school out of state. In that case, a dorm would be perfect. No matter what you decide, you will benefit from either one of them. You will teach you new things of adulthood. It will prepare you for the real world. So on to Crystal. She's going to be giving us advice on navigating the system. So Crystal's advice is if you want to transfer, the best way to start is by identifying your general timeline. Do you want to transfer in 2 years? Do you mind not waiting longer to transfer? Both options are perfectly fine, but you should identify your plan as soon as possible. Staying longer in a community college gives you more time to explore classes and areas of interest, but you must consider the cost of whether you're willing to wait longer. Considering you want to transfer in 2 years, you should get started right away with deciding your major and looking through which schools are offering it. Once you have an idea on what your plan is, you should contact a counselor and stay in contact with them and create an education plan that fulfills your transfer degree and agreement to requirements. So basically, stay in touch with your counselor. Always be aware of what you want to do with your education, what classes you're most interested in. If you decide to change it, just change it right away, not wait. If you're hesitant, you can always go back. Her advice of where to get help is to get help was her first immediate stop would be to go to the transfer center on the Cabrillo website. This subsection gives you a way to contact transfer counselors who can answer your questions. There are so many resources regarding webinars, presentations, programs, degrees, and so much more. In addition to this, the honors transfer program is a great place to be a part of a community with the same goals as you. When you become part of the program, you can request helps from the honors counselors, and if you maintain a 3.4 GPA and complete 15 units of honors courses at Cabrillo, you will be earned the status of an honors scholar, and it will be shown on your diploma and help you get priority in certain schools. And then her advice on time management is, in order to do well in your classes, you need to maintain time management skills. She knows that any person who has taken multiple rigorous classes believes that it's easier said than done. But as she is one of those people, the way to achieve this is actually start trying. Something that has worked for her has been maintaining a planner where she writes her task, work of the day. She takes each assignment and number it from first thing she needs to do to the last thing she needs to take on, basically prioritizing her work. Something that's very important about that is that you need to have realistic expectations with your time, and only assign yourself what you truly think you can complete in one day. Overestimating will stress you out and prevent you from feeling accomplished from tasks you complete. I completely agree with her on this. If you overestimate your time, you will become overwhelmed. You should do time management in a way that you have enough time for one class, and if you were to go on to another class, you can do it if you want to, but you have the option to just chill out a bit and like take some time for yourself and like focus, not overwork yourself. Basically, the way I do it is that a different day is a different class, just so I won't be too overwhelmed. If I want to do 2 classes in one day, I'll do it, but I just enjoy my sleep. So Nick is gonna give us advice on saving money. So his advice of cheap eats is gonna be farmers markets, having an amazing selection of produce for cheap. Farmers markets are super fun. You gotta walk around, get a little exercise. Everything's organic basically. And then Costco, if you have roommates, you can buy in bulk. You could go half on things. Costco always has really good discounts as well. Inexpensive things to do around town is grab a board of some sort to find a new hobby. If it's not you, you can find inspiration around the beach and around town for artworks. Hiking in Santa Cruz is fun to get lost in. He's gotten lost in one. I mean, Santa Cruz is a beautiful scenery. There's so much to do here. There's so much new things you can always explore just driving around. I'm not from the area, and in between my classes I like to go explore, find new things, find new sceneries, find new hiking spots. So I completely agree with this. Just looking around is super inexpensive, and you can find things that catch your eye. You could find new places to do your homework. So his advice on budgeting is going to be 50% living expensive, 30% activities on or spending on yourself, the last 20% into savings. He believes that is a good way and simple way to break down a paycheck if you're a new student. Sometimes that varies, that fluctuates. You know, some paychecks aren't as big as others if you're not a full-time employee. But I completely agree with that. So I will be giving advice on schoolwork. So study habits that I found best help is having study dates with my friends. Even if they're not in the same class, just having people work on their work and like me myself on my work, it kind of motivates me. But also having friends in a class is super helpful. Having little study dates with people that you have in your class, study groups, just to get the material easier. It's I feel for me it's super helpful seeing many people's way of doing the work, just so I could find something that might work for me, that the teacher didn't really show. So if you're new to Cabrillo, so something that I suggest is just walking around, literally around the campus. You find different things, you find new things. When I went to Gavilan College, we had this introduction class that basically forced us to go to every program and every tutor center and every like the hub, the STEM center, all that, every counselor, and like basically have it checked off. And when I got to Cabrillo, I did have friends that went to Cabrillo, but I kind of did this by myself to try to figure out where everything was so I wouldn't get lost and I wouldn't have that fear of getting lost. And if I were to ever need advice or help on a specific subject, I would go to that specific building, like the STEM Center, for example. On my bio classes, I would always go in there. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. Also, office hours. Don't be afraid to go to office hours. If you're about to graduate, for example, myself, I'm about to graduate, it's kind of a little bit overwhelming, but just going semester by semester has always helped me. Next thing you know, I'm in my last full-time semester. I have one more semester, but it's only one more class, and I will be graduated by May. And I still feel like it's surreal, but I'm super excited, and I wish everybody luck in their college career and their careers outside of Cabrillo. Thank you.